How's she going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's workshop. It's a beautiful day here at the lake today, nice and sunny, a little bit of a breeze, and the bugs of course are bad, but yeah, not bad. Pretty nice day. Anyways, what I'm up to today is, just want to show you something here. See along here that nice picket fence, and it look nice? Well, doesn't look nice, but it doesn't look too bad. But over here beside the well garden, that we call the well garden here, they got kind of damaged, rotted, and then between rot and I don't know, some amateur on a snowplow, they get kind of destroyed along here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make new fencing to put along here. I'm only going to make one section of fence. I'm not going to show you making them all. I'll make one section. Hopefully we'll get it painted, and I'll show you how I'm going to stick it up there. Let's go. So this is the section of the fence. This piece is 5 feet long. I have two 5-footers that I have to recreate. And then we'll see about the pieces that are left out there, if they need to be fixed or not. So I have some hemlock pieces here, and the hemlock that I have, it's a rough cut 1x6. And when I design my fences, if you look here, the pickets on the fence are 3 inches wide. So that means if I take this piece and rip it right down the middle, I'll get stock to make pickets. The stringers here are 2 inches wide. So if I take my piece and rip it in thirds, then I'll get stringers, lots of stringers. Also, the pickets themselves are about 22 inches tall, I think. Yes, 22 inches. But the hemlock I have is 8 feet long. If I cut it in quarters, in 4 pieces, then I'll have 4 pieces 24 inches long. So at one 8-foot piece of 1x6, I can get 8 pickets made. So, you know, it's an efficient way, I think, to use the material. So the stalk is almost 6 inches wide. So I'm setting my fence to about 1 15/16, between 1 7/8 and 1 15/16. That way when I rip this, hopefully all 3 of them will be the same width. Alright, so now I have 6 stringers here, so I can make 3 lengths of 5-foot fence if I wanted to. So I'm going to cut the 2-foot sections first, and then rip them on my table saw. So same as I did with the stringers, even though the material measures at 6 inches, to make up for the kerf difference, I'm setting the fence here at about 2 7/8. Okay, so now we've got material for our pickets. What I need to do is set up some kind of a jig so I can make my pickets 22 inches tall and cut a nice peak on them, right? Alright, quite the setup here, eh? I made kind of a jig to try to get the pickets made here so I can cut the tips on the pickets. So what I did was I took, this is an old picket, I set that in there and lined this up with the edge here so that you cut it off. Nice, and then I put 2 pieces in here and a stop block on the end just to, so that I could repeat the length. The idea being I put the piece in, cut one side, flip it, cut the other. So let's try it. So here's one of the picket blanks, so we'll just put that in here. A little tight between the pieces, but oh well. Let's go. Then we just flip this. And there we have a picket. So now all we have to do is cut a bunch of pickets. So there's 12 pickets, 6 stringers. I need 10 pickets and 4 stringers to make these 2 5-foot sections. So I got more than enough material here to make the fence. So I was getting ready to assemble the fence, lay out the pieces and whatnot, and I thought, you know, even though this is rough cut, and I like the rough cut, I think I'm going to put through the thickness planer for a couple of reasons. To make it maybe less rough, because we're not going to plane it right down to smooth, but less rough. Plus, I'll get the thicknesses more or less the same too, because they're all various thicknesses now. Okay, so there's the pieces kind of planed down. They're certainly not finished, but it's a better surface now for accepting paint. We're going to try to assemble the fence pieces now. The space between the top rail and the top of the picket, this distance here, is 5.5 inches. So I made a spacer, 5.5 inches. How about that for being clever, right? So all I have to do is line it up on there, and I know my picket is in the right position. Also, the gap between the rails, I don't know what it is, but I had these rail spacers made up from the last time I made the fence. So we can put those in here, and that's going to gap those. And then the gap between the pickets, for the most part, is what this distance would be. So once I locate the center one, I can just put that spacer there. I get the center one located nice and straight and square, put those spacers on there, and then I can line up my next one and go that way, right? So I also marked, let me see, I marked the center of this top rail at 30 inches, right about there. So I marked the center line on my spacer block. So if I line that center line on up right there, like so, then if I take my picket and pick the good side to put out, I don't think it matters much, and then align the top fit right there, center it on that piece. That should be about it. Then just check here, make sure it's square. Looks good. Then I'm going to put a couple of countersink holes in it here. Got some 1 3/4 screws. We're flush at the top of our spacer. And we're square. So let's make sure this is square down here. There we go. Put some countersink holes in here. Put a screw down here. So now we take these spacers, put one there and one there. We get another picket, we put it on here, we put this spacer on here, line up the top. So that's that. We'll let these clamps go. Take my spacers away. Come on, you. And there we have one picket fence. All I have to do now is paint it. Oh man. Well, my favorite job. We're going to paint the fence. Oh man. But I do sort of have myself talked into the fact that when you paint something, it looks nicer. So that's what we'll do. We'll paint it and try and make it look nicer. And you've all seen me paint before. So I'll be back when I'm finished. So I just finished the second coat paint of white on these fence pieces here that we made. I have them leaning against the garage door now in the shop to dry. However, when I went out and looked at the other fence pieces, they're all in bad shape, I mean, lots of rotten pickets. Some of the stringers are rotted, so I just decided it's probably a better plan to replace all the fence pieces out there. So I have another 7-foot section I have to make, a couple of 3-foot sections and a 4-foot section. So I'm set up here at the saw, and I'm getting ready. I took some more hemlock in from the lumber shed, and I'm going to cut some stringers out of that. Then I'm going to cut some pickets, and then assemble those fences and paint them. So you've seen me do that before, so no sense showing that. I'll be back though when this is all complete, and we're starting to install it at the garden. We're going to install these fences now. The way I had this designed originally, 2 5s and a 7. So I wanted to start them right at this corner here where it kind of takes a jog off that way. So start here and go back. There's a stump back there where I want to stop. The fencing. Boy, the bugs are bad today. Anyway, I had some 1/2-inch square tubing, and I made some stakes out of it. Just cut it on an angle there, and then I painted it gray. It was galvanized, but I painted it gray just to sort of help keep them from rusting. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to drive that right down in there. Let's see if this makes it. I was kind of hoping it would go in straight, but it's twisted, so I'm going to try and turn it around straight here with my adjustable. A bit better. I think that's as far in as I can get it. Which should be okay, I think. And I have some 1.25-inch self-tapping screws. I can try and hold it on with that. The other one. They're not bad, eh? So that's how we plan on putting the fence pieces up. So I'll put the rest of them up, and I'll come back and show you because the bugs are getting bad. So I'm just going to take a little break now, see if they'll go away. Well, there, look at that. Those are all done along here. And then yesterday in the rain, I did these sections around here. Just kind of redid those. Made one new section, but painted the rest of them. I think I made this little 3-foot section here, 3 picket section right there. I made that one. The rest are just painted, and we're back to looking like it used to look. And look at that fence line there too, eh? Pretty straight, I'd say. And then I even got right crazy, and I did a quick paint job on the well. Look at that! I painted all the trim on the well. Tell you what, boys, this is like Better Homes and Gardens here. So that was a fun project, fixing those fences. Painting them wasn't no fun. I didn't like that, but it's hard, you know, a lot of fussing when you're painting with a picket fence. But we got her done. It doesn't look too bad. It's a lot better than that big gaping hole that we had there before, right? So let me know what you think, if you like it. If you do, thumbs up me. Don't forget that, eh? Hope you're having a great week wherever you are, and I hope you're able to get out into your property there and do a little bit of projects like this too. Have a great week, folks. We'll talk to you.